Beautiful uptown Charlotte, about 3 miles in the Less is More studio, give or take. Within
a couple blocks away from the Casa.
Yeah, it's like a nice walk for Mitch the dog.
Yeah. Poor guy will be let out in 3 hours, and he'll be so mad at me when he sees me.
That's a whole separate issue. All right, we got Coach Mox, Wahoo Wah, joining us. I'm going to just tell you something. Last year, during media days, Coach Jack up here at Syracuse, I was sitting around at the big table, and I commented on her nails. I said, you know, of all the coaches, you got the best nails.
Yep.
Today, that award
you always have your nails.
goes to.
Thank you.
You do.
Coach.
Oh.
How about that?
Look at there.
She's always got the nails, and she always has. You have a really good shoe game.
Oh, thank you.
You got the good shoes.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So there you go. There's the first
I need to sit here more often.
It's true though. We only tell the truth up here.
Offense, offense, offense. Man, what an amazing difference a year makes, right? Your team improved so drastically. We saw the stats a second ago. I mean, that's coaching, that's good players, it's people buying into the big picture. You got to feel good about that because I know that's the step to keep moving on for Virginia basketball.
Yeah, I mean, I always say, you know, progress is a process. So I think we made a lot of progress last year and definitely laid the foundation. That was for sure, and our culture and all that. And the way that we started was pretty impressive.
Yep.
You know, hopefully we can do that again. But I love the group that we have coming back and the 6 that we added. It's just been a seamless merge, and the culture is really thriving.
Let me ask you about the health of this team, because that was certainly a factor in last year's season. The injury bug came, and there's sometimes nothing you can do about that. So how's everyone feeling? How's everyone doing?
Yeah, I mean, we still got some that are coming back, you know, because some got hurt late in the season. But I mean, we're healthy for the most part, and I love this group. Now, I will have, you know, playing time issues, but that's a great problem to have, you know, because I think we have 14 kids that can really contribute.
And that's maybe the silver lining to last year is you kind of had to throw some young ladies into the fire and fill some big roles, some big shoes.
Yeah, we played a game with 6 available players, you know, towards the end of the season. So to have 14 that will be available, that are talented, it's a blessing. You know, when I go into practice and there's we can actually practice, that's been a welcome change. But no, you know, at the same time, I just love how everybody's kind of bought into their role too. You know, you want to be playing in March, you got to be deep.
Coach, I was going to go there with you about practice. So glad you just mentioned that too, because when you mentioned, hey, we got all these players, practices breed competition, right? It takes care of itself. I mean, obviously coaches and coaching matters, but when kids walk in and know they can't take a day off, because guess what? This person can play, this person can play. It only makes you better overnight, right? I mean, that's really what you always strive to do in terms of creating that quality depth.
For sure. I mean, everything we do in practice is competitive anyway. Every drill, even if it's a shooting drill, there's a winner and loser because there's a winner and loser to every game. So
that's life.
So we practice and prepare them that way anyway. But now, you know, if you take a day off, somebody might come in and outshine you. So I think that has raised our level completely, and just the way that we compete and in the way that we're getting ready for games. But at the same time, I do think I have, like, you know, probably 9 kids that can actually start, that are good enough to start, and obviously you can only start 5. So I just think everybody has to continue to buy into their own role and be in a deep team.
And when you have that many people and 74% of your scoring coming back, I mean, that puts a smile on your face, because not only do you have competition, you have depth, but you know you have proven access in terms of, hey, I got people who can put the ball in the basket. That's a good thing.
That is a good thing, and I think we're definitely taking steps in the right direction. You know, we're still building, but I do think that we have way more depth, talent, and not just put the ball in the hole. We got kids that can defend, so we're playing on both sides of the ball. So we're definitely moving in the right direction.
Sam Brunell, Cameron Taylor are the 2 accompanying you here today. Why did you choose those 2 to come to this Media Day event when you have a team full of some pretty talented young ladies?
Yeah, we have a lot of them. I took it out of a hat. I'm just kidding. But we do have a lot that could come represent our team, and I think they all do it in their own right in different times.
Yeah.
But Sam and Cam, I think that they've been pretty consistent, you know, with defending the culture, being all about, you know, what we're trying to instill, and they've done that from day one. I think they really have earned it, and you know, they just really speak about our program in a first-class manner.
Sam and Cam sounds like the Dr. Seuss book.
It does.
I like it.
A little bit, it actually does. What's the relationship with Tony Bennett? I'm always kind of curious when it comes to whether we talk about baseball and softball, but basketball is an interesting world, right? It's not one of those things you got crazy numbers. Everybody kind of knows everybody, keeps an eye on the other side. So what's the relationship with your team and Tony Bennett's team?
Yeah, I mean, he knows our players. You know, he knows our girls, and when he sees them, talks to them, calls them by name. He's sharp, you know, and he's very much a supporter of ours. You know, he's always championing our efforts and trying to get behind what we're trying to do, and he's said that he's proud of what we're doing, and he'll say it publicly as well. Now, he did stop me in the hall the other day, and he was a little mad I didn't invite him to the Liberty game.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm always on his good side.
That was pretty cool. I saw it on social media. You brought, the whole team?
The whole team.
Up to New York for the WNBA Finals game to see the Liberty and Jocelyn Willoughby play with the team. And that looks like it was first of all, the atmosphere on TV looked incredible, but just to have all of you in one place supporting I mean, it's pretty special.
It is very special. To have an alum playing, first of all, it was amazing. And Jocelyn is just such an amazing person. I don't know if you know her, but you should get to know her. She's like an ambassador for the sport. And obviously was very special to UVA. So we just wanted to be up there and support her, but then also to give our players that experience. A lot of them have those aspirations, and you got to see it. You know, you got to be in that environment. You got to talk to those players, understand what they did, what they sacrificed to make it to that point, and they got to do that, you know, and get on the court and take pictures and all that. So it was an amazing experience for them.
You've been around the game for a long time. That environment, it's a different world for women's hoops now, and it must be really cool to see as someone who's grown up with the game.
Yeah, you know, it's crazy because I've been to a lot of WNBA games, and it's progressively grown over the years, and I actually was at the one in 2019, I believe, when the Mystics won. I had a former player had coached. So that place was kind of packed as well, but to see the Barclays Center like that was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, just how far women's basketball has come is, you know, it's just a blessing to be in that atmosphere. I mean, I thought they did a great job. It was a sellout. Fans were engaged. It's just great to see how much the game has grown.
I'm going to go back to your relationship with Coach Bennett because we're going to be talking with him tomorrow. But I think it's fascinating that here you are with all this offense, right? You got all these scores. And there's Bennett over there that's like, hey, we're not getting you to 50. You're not going to see 50. So you got this completely, totally opposite approach. But how often do you compare notes? I know the men's game is different than the women's game and all that stuff, but still, you know, principles, ideas, concepts, coaches are always trying to steal from others. It is a really interesting combination between you two.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely have different styles, I guess you could say,
Sure.
but at the same time, there's so many things that I can pick his brain on. He's just a phenomenal coach, X's and O's, and he's a defensive-minded coach, and I also take a lot of pride in that side of the ball. And our defensive philosophies are pretty similar, not exactly the same, but I can definitely take away, you know, some of the things that they do. So there are things that we can talk about. You know, we've talked about rebounding in the past because that's something that we both stress. But yeah, as far as the pace on the offense, we differ a little bit.
I would say night and day.
But you know, Tony, I mean, he's a genius at it.
We've asked all the coaches to kind of take a step back from their own team and take a look at the league. And you can't help but be impressed with the star power when you see who's coming back from an individual standpoint. Then you tie it into, well, there's 5 teams ranked in the preseason top 18 in the AP. Could have easily had 2 or 3 more jump in the top 25, and I think you'll see that throughout the course. And I think your guys are sitting there going, hey, why not us? Let's go, right? Again, I know you're being cautiously optimistic. That's for somebody else. That'll all take care of itself. But how good is this league and compared to what you think big picture nationally?
Honestly, and I'm not even just biased because I'm in the league, I really do think it's the best league in the country. We have the most teams that are ranked. I think, you know, it's just super competitive from top to bottom. So even the teams that aren't ranked, it's a dogfight every night,
right.
You know. So I think if you're a competitor, that's the kind of league you want to be in. You know, you got to rise to the occasion every single time, every single night. Otherwise, you never know what can happen. And I think, you know, our players love that challenge too. Now, you know, you guys hear me say all the time, we just take it one game at a time. So we're focused on non-conference. Obviously, that's going to prepare us for conference. But when we do get there, we understand that we have to be consistent. And that's why we try to stress that now in practice. And we got to bring it every night.
I think we saw that on display with the Who's this weekend, and coming in and beating a top 10 opponent in North Carolina on the football field, right? On any given night, there's depth in this league, and why not us? It's kind of that mentality. When you talk about star power in the league, there's a lot of young talent coming in too, including on your squad. 2 recruits in the top 100, and the best part is they're from Virginia, and I know that was very, very important to you when you came here to build the fence around the state and keep the best talent there. How excited are you to have those 2 on campus?
Super excited, but I will want to say shout out to UVA football.
There you go.
Tony Elliott for that big upset. You know, that was huge, and we're so proud of them. But yeah, I mean, Kimora Johnson, she's right from Charlottesville, literally like 2-3 miles from school, and she's a hometown kid that understands what it means to put that jersey on and put Virginia on her chest. Same thing with Olivia, who's from Louisa, which is about 30 minutes away. So keeping the hometown kids home is huge. You know, the kids in the state, or even just going up to the DMV, and we want to keep them home. They understand it's just different. It's different. They understand what Virginia means. They see the history, then they know where the program's been, and they know where we're trying to take it. So, we want to recruit the best talent in the country, but first we want to take care of home. So we were able to do that right when we got hired, right when I got hired with Sam Burnell, and that trickled down into, Mo and O's. Those are the nicknames. And then we just hope to keep that going for the next recruiting classes.
We have Mo and O, Sam and Cam. Like, this is literally just a riddle, a Dr. Seuss rhyme that we have going on here at UVA.
Well, we wish you the best. You're doing great work in Charlottesville. And Carla Williams, I know, the mastermind behind the master plan and everything else, she's got it going on. Good things are happening in Charlottesville.
Yeah, she's the best. That's another one. I'm not saying I'm biased. Maybe I am biased, but she is the best, and I'm just so blessed to be under her tutelage, and she just supports us, loves women's basketball. Can't ask for more.
Coach, we wish you the best. Stay healthy, all right?
Thank
That's
you.
the key, I know.
Yes.
Coach.
Always important.